Hey, what's up, YouTube? What's up? All right. This was what last week. I heard God say compassion. So I just want to talk about that right quick. Compassion is what like we need to show to everybody, right? Because this world is full of pain. This world is full of suffering and stuff like that. And you see, so we gotta be gentle with how we handle each other. Because you just never know what a person may be going through, what a person may be facing, how a person may be feeling. You don't know how close a person is to the edge. You don't know how much of that bomb is ticking off, or them seconds is getting so close to going. The bomb is getting so close to go off. You just never know. So we just need to be careful. How we handling people and stuff like that. And you see, to be compassionate mean to have pity and sorrow, for what others going through, and to have a desire to want to alleviate the pain, to relieve the pain from them, and that's what God done through Jesus. That's what God done through Jesus for this world. He sent Jesus to take away all this pain, all this suffering of the whole world. And you see, that's what Jesus had did for this world, for us, when he came down. People was in pain. What he did, he healed them. People needed mercy and grace, he showed it to them. Like the woman with that they threw down on the ground, and they wanted to cast, to throw stones at her and stuff like that. But Jesus showed compassion, mercy, and grace and all of that, and he let her go. So I just want y'all to just be mindful, just encourage y'all and remind y'all to just to be compassionate towards others and stuff like that. You just never know. You just never know what you could do for a person. You never know like what your words could do for a person. You never know who need that. You never know who needs your smile. You never know who needs your gentleness, your kindness. You never know who need to just feel your spirit, who needs your presence and stuff. You just never know what you have that could do for a person and stuff like that. But like I said, we should just all be compassionate towards one another. Once one another, we all going through things already. Like one time I said in a unity video, I say, we should be lifting burdens off each other, not putting burdens on one another and stuff like that. So if you could, if you could, you know, if God, like, I mean, like I say, this for everybody, but if it's somebody, God calling you to be compassionate towards, be compassionate. And if that person don't want to, just acting like, because you see, sometimes people could put a front on and act like they don't need that love, that comfort, and that energy or whatever from you, but they really do, they really doing stuff like that. But even if even if a person reject that, you still just have that in your heart. We gotta handle each other like we want to be handled, and stuff like that. So we gotta do what we expect done to us. So I just want to say that as a friendly reminder. You see, because last year, I was so down and depressed and everything, and I just kept wanting a hug. I kept wanting a hug. My nigga, I wanted a hug. I wanted a hug, just a hug. And so I ended up getting a hug, and that was for in that moment, that was my everything. Just a hug, just a hug. That was my everything. I needed that so bad. And it was the type of hug. It was like a real hug. It was like a heartfelt hug. And you just never know how that could, just something simple like that. Something simple like that could mean the world to somebody. And in that moment, that person came take some pain, came alleviate some pain from it. You know, what and that's what being compassionate does. Even if it was for a second, it felt good. I felt, it was a blessing. And after that, I told God, I said, God, I don't care how this person living in their life or whatever, make sure they make it to heaven. based off of what they did for me. That was a big thing in that moment, for real, So you just, like I say, you just never know. Your gentleness, your touch, your kind words, your kindness, your beautiful hearts, your help, whatever help you could give, you just never know how far and what that could just actually do for a person. A person could, like I said, a person could be, sitting on a bench, plotting or planning or thinking about, taking themselves out. And then say the wrong person come along. They might push them closer to the edge. Or say something else come, they get some more bad news. They'll push them closer to the edge. But say the right person come along with the right words, with the right intentions, with a good heart, good intentions and stuff like that. Just imagine. Just imagine if you was in God put you in somebody's path, or God put somebody in your path, and just imagine you thinking about ending it all, or that person thinking about ending it all, and then you come along, or that person come along, and change your whole direction, change your whole mind frame, your whole mindset. Just imagine. And then a person say, you know what I was about to do, but God sent you my way. Just imagine. That's a blessing. Like they say, it's better to give than receive. It really is. That's, to me, that's like one of the most beautiful blessings a person could ever, like, have. So I just wanna encourage y'all to be compassionate. Just watch how y'all handle each other. People already going through their own storms and stuff like that. You be easy on each other. Be easy. Be careful. You know, like I said, you just don't know. A smile don't mean nothing. A laugh don't mean nothing. Dancing, acting crazy, that don't mean nothing. Um, a picture. People take pictures and stuff like that. That don't mean nothing. That doesn't mean nothing at all. I seen a video one day, and the video said this is how this person was before they committed suicide, and they was just having a ball of they having a ball of their life. That just don't mean nothing. So you just, y'all, I just, y'all, we need to practice that. We need to practice that more often. Me too, me too. So yeah, that's the message for today. So I'll be back. All right.